Hi, Robin Pope. Hi.
Hello, I'm Gary Randolph.
I'm Harold King, I'm 75 years old. I was raised in Alabama in the church. I went to church every Sunday. Somewhere around 12 years old, I think I was saved. And I was a churchgoer. Always went to church. Joined the police department at 27 years old. Got married when I was 30. Always went to church. Went to church for about 10 years after I got married. Dropped out of church and never went back. Was married for 43 years. And my wife died 2 years ago of cancer. And at that time I realized I needed to get back in church. I didn't know which church to go to, but there was one down the road from the house called Turning Point at Calvary. I had no idea what kind of church that was. So I got on the internet and found out it was associated with the Southern Baptist Convention. I said, that's a sign. I'm coming to this church. So when I came to the door, they shook my hand as a visitor and asked me what I did for a living, and I said, I'm a retired policeman. And they said, our pastor was a policeman. That was a sign. So I came in here and sat down, and there was TV screens on the walls. And there's a man giving all kind of announcement, and one announcement was having a grief sharing. And I said, that's the sign. And then they said, I had chicken dinner that night. I knew I was in the right place. I knew right there. After that, I went to grief sharing when it started, and Robin Pope was my counselor. Real good. She got me through some terrible times. One thing I learned at that course, I need to join the church, get actively involved for my spiritual needs. I also need to get to a gym for my physical needs. I did all of that. She also advised me that I need to forgive my brother that I hadn't spoken to for 20 years. So then I started going to Gary. He invited me to his house several times, talk, socialize. He came over to my house several times.
Harold and I hit it off right away. I had a twin brother that died a year before Harold came to the church, and when I saw Harold, he reminded me of my twin brother. We hit it off. We FaceTime a lot on the phone. He told me once, he said, I don't FaceTime with anybody else but you, but guys just don't FaceTime. But we FaceTime every time we talk, and we've laughed and shared. I mean, my goodness, brother, shared tears. I mean, we just had a great time together. But he told me something. I would listen to things he would tell me. It just kind of led me to believe that maybe he didn't have that solid relationship with Jesus that he ought to have. And like he said, he came over the house several times. He came over to the house one day. We were sitting in the garage for about 3 hours, and I asked him, I said, can you tell me about your salvation experience? You know, just how did that go? Well, he couldn't tell me. He said, I think I got saved when I was 12 years old, but he didn't know any of the details or anything like that. Well, then I had a mission, and so I called him. I think it was just a day or so later after that.
Yeah.
And I said, can I come over? And he said, sure. So we sat on the porch, and I just asked him. I said, you know, like he said, I asked him, are you certain that you have a right relationship with Jesus Christ? Are you truly saved? And he said, well, Gary, I don't know. I can't say that. And so I started sharing scripture with him out of Romans. And so finally I just asked him, I said, Harold, wouldn't you want to nail this down once and for all? And he said, I sure would. And so we prayed, and he had asked Jesus in his heart. And you asked how his life has changed. I mean, we have seen it, and I love him, and I just, it just gladdens my heart to just see how he has grown in the Lord.
She and Mr. Harold plug himself in and not be afraid not to plug himself in. Because I think sometimes we have a tendency to isolate ourselves. And that's where the real growing starts, is when you get plugged in.
I'm just attending the church, and I would go to St. Francis House and feed them. I'm with our Bible study group with John and Pam Kozatsky, and I'm just doing everything. Anytime the church has anything to do, like the Christmas lights, I'm involved. I try to get involved in every single thing that I can, possibly with the church. And now that I'm accepted Christ and He's in my heart, I don't think about the dark side of being of that different world. And I'm with Christian people now. I read the Bible and studying the Bible. The shows I watch on TV is different. So I see I'm full of joy now instead of being depressed all the time and angry all the time. And I'm happy. And I'm joking. I'm just a new person than the old person that I knew.